You can go from growing your client base to the big time. And you can go from a stylist to a stylist of the stars. Your future's only a connection away with 24/7 customer support from Optimum Business. Call or visit Optimum Business today.
Spread joy and save this holiday with Optimum Mobile. Switch and save with unlimited for just $30 a month per line for 2 or more lines. Plus, save up to $300 on the best 5G phones. Start saving at Optimum.com/mobile. Get closer, go farther with Optimum.
Moving with Optimum is easy. Power your new home with Optimum's award-winning internet with speeds up to 1 gig and 99.9% reliability. Call 888-633-0234 today or visit us at Optimum.com/moving for our best movers deal.
And away we go.
Regular compression socks again.
Copper Fit. Feel the fit.
I'm Mike Corey. I travel the world to carve a path for those who aren't afraid to get a little bit dirty.
That is the craziest thing I have ever done in my life.
Let's go on an uncharted adventure.
Currently in our area, 40 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low 27. Winds light and variable. Tuesday, partly cloudy, high 52. Winds light and variable. Tuesday night, mostly cloudy, low 34. Winds light and variable. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Right now, this is a look at the severe weather threat that we're going to be watching through the nighttime hours here on Storm Center and on the Weather Channel. We'll update you as needed on any developing storms. We are expecting thunderstorms tonight in these areas from Texas, the Red River, all the way up, and a lot of Oklahoma, a lot of Kansas into Nebraska, which, by the way, is going to see a lot of snow in the coming days. But these areas here in red is where it's possible there could be some of these stronger storms, which includes at least the possibility there could be a tornado. While there's not the highest end on the exclusive Torcon here, a 2 and a 3, it's still a number. And of course, Jackie, if there is a number, there is a tornado threat.
Yeah, so when you go to bed, make sure you've got a way or two, preferably, to be alerted while you're sleeping, just in case if you live in those areas. Now, tomorrow, we'll have thunderstorms, some of which will possibly be severe right away in the morning. So this is going to be ongoing through the duration. And as we get through the day tomorrow and that warm, moist air really advects into the region, the front develops and moves eastward, we're going to see severe weather become more likely, especially in the afternoon hours. The dark red area indicating where that is most likely to happen: Alexandria, Shreveport, Lufkin, all cities involved, but still possible, especially in the morning. Dallas, McAllister, Texarkana, and then later Greenville, Jackson, New Orleans, and into Lake Charles. So our area of low pressure is actually going to be much farther to the north, but this is going to be the warm sector. We're going to have those strong winds coming in at the surface from the south and east, pumping in ample moisture and bringing in the warmth. Now, aloft, those winds are going to be turning a bit with height, but they're also going to be increasing in forward speed. So speed shear and shear, directional shear, and that is what could bring a few of the tornadoes. Now, this is going to come in rounds, and Torcons will be as high as a 5 tomorrow. So this is the day right now that we foresee as being the most likely to have the most widespread severe weather. There's the morning where we're going to be watching conditions and Texas and into Oklahoma. By the afternoon, even as early as midday, we'll watch for severe weather across Arkansas into Louisiana. Models depicting, see all those little bean shapes there? Those could be supercells that produce tornadoes. And then another round could be possible as we head into the evening hours. This will then push late night and overnight into Mississippi. And look at that, our upper low kind of hangs back, so more development will be possible in some of the same areas on Wednesday. And with so much moisture available, easy access to the Gulf of Mexico, flash flooding will be possible, especially as these storms come in rounds. Chris?
And now on Storm Center, a look at some of the snow that moved into central Massachusetts, creating this wintry scene over the weekend. This in Worcester gets a break now from the wintry weather for at least the next few days. But the winter storm we're tracking across the country will bring the chance for snow back to parts of the Northeast later this week. So that is what we are going to look at now. And with this winter storm, this is what we know about the northeastern United States. A wintry mix expected to develop over central PA, and that's going to happen late Wednesday night into early Thursday. Snow, possibly several inches, could fall over the interior portion of the Northeast. That's going to be Thursday into Friday, and then mainly rain for the 95 corridor on Thursday and Friday. But mainly rain, so there's a little bit of wiggle room here in the wording. So we'll let you know if and or when and how that changes. This is the European forecast model. We'll show you the southernmost extent for this snowfall. Some high totals, a foot to a foot and a half. Again, this is one potential outcome, one model. Now the GFS, well, it also shows quite a bit of snow. May disagree a bit on how much, but what the big question is going to be, how far south? Which one is going to end up being more likely to be the correct solution, or is it somewhere in between? So that's going to be some of the big questions. Feel pretty good about some interior locations getting a lot of snow. It's just going to really depend on what happens along that 95 corridor, and of course that's a huge deal with millions of people living in these areas. Through Saturday, again, as that low moves off into the maritime portion of Canada there, we will see a back edge to this, bring at least some snow. Here's the GFS forecast model, and as you see, this broad area of low pressure out here, this is Friday, and on this track right here, again, this is the solution that brings some snow into Connecticut, possibly down a little bit closer to the water, but still some time to figure it out. So stay with us this week here on Storm Center.
Yo soy mago, desaparezco. Cuentas tan plenas. Está muy fuerte como. Mira como estos niños aquí quieren ser como yo, no como tú. Vos sos fantasma, solo dices boo. Desaparezco. Está muy fuerte como.
This holiday season, WeatherTech offers a variety of amazing gifts for everyone. Laser-measured floor liners and cargo liners that fit vehicles perfectly. The cup foam to secure phones in any cup holder. And the new Cup Coffee when you're on the go. The pet feeding system to feed pets safely. Or wow them with a gift card and let them choose. Order these American-made products the easy way at WeatherTech.com. And happy holidays.
After 15 years of the Share the Love event, Subaru and our retailers have donated over $250 million to charity. In fact, Subaru is the largest corporate donor to the ASPCA and the National Park Foundation, and the largest automotive donor to Meals on Wheels and Make-A-Wish. Get a new Subaru during the Share the Love event, and Subaru and our retailers will donate $300 to charity.
Tyson boneless buffalo bites and hot wings have that tasty kick of flavor, so they're perfect for any get-together. If there are any left when your guests arrive. Tyson Anytizers Chicken. More kicks of flavor, more smiling snackers, more to love. Tyson.
If Damian Lillard let 6 all-star selections go to his head, he never would have had the heart to give back to the streets that shaped him. That's the fighting spirit. That's what makes a lion. Modelo, root for those with a fighting spirit.
At Walmart, save on thousands of gifts for everyone on your list. The savings are here all month long. Plus, get delivery on your gifts in as fast as 1 hour, right up to Christmas Eve. Shop Walmart online or in-store today.
We answered some questions on Angie. Contractors pop up on your screen.
You can read other people's experiences.
To me, Angie is a time saver.
I scheduled it right then and there.
Get started at Angie.com today.
Trying to catch me right. They see me rolling, they hating, patrolling and trying to catch me riding 30. 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 My music so loud.
The CarMax 30-day money-back guarantee. That's car buying reimagined, only from CarMax.
Oh, what a good time we will have. You can make it happen.
Voltaren, the joy of movement.
A major winter storm. This major winter storm is pushing across the country. And in some parts already, it has brought feet of snow, including here along Interstate 80 in California. Snow's been piling up in Soda Springs, about 3 feet of snow in about a day, about 24 hours. The powerful storm now pushing out of the west into the plains, and by the time this winter storm pushes all the way through, it will have touched almost every state of the contiguous 48 here in one form or another, whether it's the snowy side or the severe side. I'm meteorologist Chris Warren.
I'm meteorologist Jackie Jarris. On the wintry side, we've got blizzard warnings that are out. We've got ice storm warnings that are out. We've got winter storm warnings that are out. Every type of precipitation imaginable is going to happen somewhere within this area, pretty much. Maybe not Grapple, we'll see.
But I mean, if you go from freezing rain to, I wouldn't rule out
we'll
the Grapple.
We'll get some sleet, we'll get rain snow mix. We're gonna have blowing and drifting snow. So there is a very potent winter side to this storm.
And then on the other side, the severe side here, red and orange is where some of the storms have the potential for being severe, including tornadoes. Torcon's already as high as 5. Scale only goes to 10. The bigger the number, the bigger the threat across areas from Texas to Mississippi.
Tomorrow expected to be a very rough day, but we want to start out though with the weather that we're seeing right now, and that's the snowy side of things, including some heavy snow, tropical storm force winds that have been ongoing. These are the conditions over the last 24 hours along Interstate 80. Look at how the cars just disappear in the snow. Woo! All right, let's get an update with what's happening right now. Meteorologist Chris Warren is on the radar. We've had thunderstorms today. We've had snow today. The winds have yet to pick up, though.
Yeah, that'll happen as that low gets east of the Rockies and the surface low really starts to go. Oftentimes you have a big, broad area of low pressure, which you have right here, but going over the Intermountain West, you tend to see more of an obvious surface low develop once this broad low gets over here, gets east of the Rockies. Right in here, a bit of an uptick in some of the thunderstorms. Get to that in a moment, but across parts of Southern California, seeing some rain showers. Doesn't take a lot to make already heavy traffic even slower. And Interstate 10 from the deserts from California into Arizona, some rain, some wet roads. Snow and some rain here across New Mexico, pretty scattered about, but where it's scattering over temperatures below freezing, it is falling in the form of snow. And then to the north here, eastern Oregon, north central Nevada, eastern Idaho into Montana, Wyoming, snow falling here. Temperatures either at or below the freezing mark in most areas. Salt Lake City, you're close to it. Probably feels about freezing out there with 34. Here is now that uptick in thunderstorm activity here in western Kansas, south of Goodland. That batch, another area here of thunderstorms. And we look at past 15 minutes, and we're getting about a lightning strike a minute here, including the Texas Panhandle. But notice these storms are moving into areas where conditions do remain at least possible for the development that those storms could end up being stronger, severe thunderstorms. Another look here at the motion of the snowflakes or the raindrops, and you really get a sense where that area of low pressure is, the air going counterclockwise around that area of low pressure. So to say the very least, tomorrow is going to be an interesting weather day. Unfortunately, Jackie, it could also be a dangerous weather day.
Yeah, it will be for severe weather, but also because of extreme snow and winds on the northern tier of all of this. So let's talk a little bit about what we can expect from Winter Storm Diaz on your Tuesday. And we are expecting blizzard conditions to develop for parts of the northern plains, especially into the Dakotas, into the Panhandle, Nebraska. And these are going to be prolonged as our winter storm kind of lingers across this region. We could be talking about 2 full days of blizzard conditions in places like the Panhandle of Nebraska, not to mention the cold that's going to come along with that and those winds, making it feel like temperatures below zero for the duration. So once this thing gets cranking, you really need to stay put and be prepared to lose power. Now, we'll get some heavy rain and we'll get some strong winds in the middle of all of this, and then severe weather breaking out on the southern tier, and we're expecting that into the south, and we could see severe weather come in a couple of different rounds. Water vapor imagery is really great to kind of pick out the spin and mid and upper levels of the atmosphere. We've got our big trough that's digging in across there, and that promotes low pressure to develop at the surface, and that's what's underway right now into parts of Colorado. And that surface low is going to be deepening. It will intensify and get stronger, and as a result, we're going to have a greater gradient between our low pressure and high pressure to follow, which is going to bring those screaming winds that we've been talking about. And it's not just at the surface where we're going to have strong winds, we're going to have even stronger winds aloft, and that will provide some wind shear. And it will also be supportive to sustain our system and keep it quite intense. So the heavy snow is going to spread in the cooler sector from tonight through tomorrow night at least. Warm air is going to get drawn up and around that area of low pressure and override the front, which is why we're going to have some warm air moving over the top of the colder air, which is more dense and get some of that wintry mix. But here's a look at what the wind gusts could do, and I wouldn't rule out 50 to 55 mile per hour gusts at times. So that's what's going to bring blizzard conditions. Remember, that's a specific criteria. A blizzard is when we have winds or frequent gusts of 35 miles per hour or more. We've got snow or blowing snow that's taking place in visibility that's around a quarter of a mile or less, and that has to happen for at least 3 hours. So that's what will make this a blizzard, and we think there are going to be quite a few areas in here that meet that criteria. Chris?
But if you're only in that weather for 20 minutes, you could find yourself in a dangerous situation in a big way. So with that wind and the snow, as Jackie just mentioned, blizzard conditions like this is what that looks like. The blizzard conditions, again, imagine 3 hours of this kind of weather here, especially at night. Can barely see across the parking lot. Heavy snow means extremely dangerous conditions. The bitter cold is another aspect of this. The snow pounding your face, another issue. And, of course, making it impossible to be on the roads in some cases. Here's the latest satellite radar combination, and still watching the snow, this broad area of low pressure. And as we watch this system go across the west, it'll continue to bring a lot of mountain snow. The snow that we're seeing right now across Nevada and Utah and Idaho, maybe amount another inch or two, but it's when you get into the Rockies and then east of the Rockies where the amount of snowfall potentially could be measured in feet in these pink areas, really into these darker purple areas, which is the 12 to 18 inches, so a foot to a foot and a half. Again, the lighter pink areas just shows you the possibility that this storm could drop up to a yardstick here. Blizzard warnings, so blizzard conditions anticipated. Ice storm warnings as well in South Dakota and parts of Minnesota. So depending on where you are and when you are on the road or out and about, it can be downright dangerous. Again, would not be surprised if some roads were closed for safety reasons, with temperatures making it feel a lot colder than the thermometers reading with winds like this. 40 to 50 mile an hour wind, gusting at times possibly than that. This lasting, again, going tomorrow, possibly lasting through Wednesday into Thursday in some areas. And even while the snow may stop falling from the sky, it could still be blowing across the ground because the winds are still going to be blowing pretty strong and could have some light snow, especially in some of the colder spots, Jackie.
Yeah, it's going to be a mess for days to come, unfortunately. So just get ready to hunker down and stay home if you can for the duration. Now, the southern tier, we're going to have rounds of strong storms, and severe weather could be developing even within the next couple of hours across parts of the southern plains. We're talking parts of Texas into western Oklahoma, Oklahoma City included in this, and western Kansas, including Dodge City and over towards Colby. Damaging winds will be more likely with our storms tonight, but a couple of tornadoes are possible. We have torcons as high as a 3. That's on a scale that goes all the way up towards a 10. So have a way to get alerted even after you go to bed tonight, because a lot of this is going to get kicking while we're sleeping. Chris was pointing out on the radar some of the thunderstorms that are developing in that area of instability, which is pretty small still right now. But as that low here in Colorado moves eastward, it's going to start to draw in even more moisture from the Gulf of Mexico and create some more buoyancy or lift into the atmosphere. So thunderstorms will likely become more prevalent across the region by about 10 o'clock tonight. Look at the models depicting the clusters and lines of thunderstorms that are going to be getting started. This will expand in coverage through the overnight. There you can see that low at the surface likely coming out of Colorado. At 4 o'clock in the morning, Salina, Wichita, Oklahoma City, Wichita Falls to Abilene may be in a line of strong to severe thunderstorms. That will continue tomorrow morning and then work its way eastward with time with a few rounds of severe weather. And the risk is even greater tomorrow than what we have tonight. Torcons as high as a 5. So we'll start out the day with a risk of thunderstorms. And then as we head into the afternoon and that front moves off towards the east, supercells that could produce tornadoes and then damaging lines of storms work their way towards Mississippi in the nighttime hours and redevelopment off towards the west. So Shreveport, well-populated city here, no stranger to tornadoes, Chris. They could have torcons as high as a 5. That's a significant number. Be prepared.
Best advice, certainly, and that advice does remain good advice into Wednesday. So tomorrow, increased threat, not as high of a threat, but still possibility. There could be some strong storms, severe weather threat here on Wednesday. Still parts of Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, and parts of Georgia. Heavy rain is going to accompany some of these storms just by the nature here in the south, with a lot of moisture available to be rained out of the atmosphere. Storms along the front could drop a lot of water here. So these storms, again, have the potential for being severe. Wednesday, now this is Thursday's forecast. The Carolinas down to Florida, the peninsula of Florida during the day into the evening hours on Thursday. And through Thursday night, this is the amount of rain that is possible. 2 to 3 inches, even some spots 3 to 5 inches. So the storms, whether you get some big ones that last a while or you get frequent rounds, all of that rain does have the potential to add up. And already pretty saturated south here. Could see some ponding on the roadways and some flooding. Something else that has been adding up in a big way has been the snow, Jackie.
Yes, we have seen huge numbers crushing parts of the west from Winter Storm Diaz over the weekend, and that includes places across California. Look at this. Check out the snow that's blanketing the alpine town of Kirkwood, California. This is yesterday, where officials say conditions actually forced them to close dozens of highways as the heavy snow continued to fall. Look how hazy the trees look in the background. You can't see the horizon because the snow has been so heavy. Now, look at the scene at the Berkeley Sierra Snow Lab in Soda Springs, California. Diaz dropped more than 3 feet of snow within 24 24 hours. That's a day. That's 3 feet of snow. That's like the size of a little person. More than 5 feet covered the area overall from the storm, and a few areas are now reporting they've had as much as 7.5 feet of snow. Oh my goodness, this is epic. This has really been a December to remember when it comes to snowfall in the Sierra, and this storm was certainly no exception. It performed as expected, and those big numbers came out with the feet of snow we were talking about. Sierra Tahoe, 70 inches of snow this weekend. Soda Springs, 60. Sierra Snow Lab, as mentioned, 55 inches. Pinecrest, 39. Mammoth Lake, when does 30 inches seem like a small amount, right? It almost does compared to some of the other areas. This shows you the footprint of the snowfall was really heaviest south of I-80 in the Sierra. So the southern and central Sierra really coming away with the big numbers. We had good snow in the Wasatch. We had good snow in the Bitterroots. We had snow even into some of the bigger cities that haven't had a lot of snow in the West so far this season. Check it out. Sun Valley, Idaho coming in with 9 inches of snowfall here, and Boise, 5 inches of snowfall. So that's a pretty good snowfall, certainly enough to have to get the shovels out and a lot of cleanup. Travel was very difficult and hazardous across the region. We had some gusty winds. Those have died down from now. So folks in the West are going to get a break in the action now for a good portion of the rest of the week. Maybe that's welcome. Maybe it's not. But Chris, we're going to get more of that snow from our winter storm that could be similar. We could be measuring in feet in parts of the northern plains.
And sometimes it's how you get the snow that can be the problem. If it comes in the form of a snow squall, or if it comes in the form of a blizzard, it just adds another layer of just the danger of this. So on Storm Center, we are updating this major winter storm every 10 minutes or less. At 30 after, we'll have the latest on the severe threat developing in the south. But first, in 7 minutes, we're going in depth on the chances we could see our first snow for big Interstate 95 cities, what the models are saying, and the factors that go into making it rain or making it snow. But first, a look at some of the areas where some snow has already come down. The snow shining on the sun, shining on some of that snow. The snow is moving out of Nevada and still spreading across Utah. This a look at Park City, Utah, 27 degrees.
Fairlife brings more to your holiday traditions. It's ultra-filtered milk with 50% more protein, 50% less sugar, and a creamy taste. This season, turn delicious into delicious. Fairlife ultra-filtered milk.
Time to sell your ride? Just go to CarMax.com, enter your info, and get a real offer that's good for 7 days. If you can wait that long. That's car selling reimagined. CarMax.
This year, save on gifts that mean more during the big holiday sale. Only at Kay.
Dude, you coming?
Because the only thing dripping should be your style. Plop Plop is Fizz with Alka-Seltzer Plus cold and flu relief. Also try for Fizzy Fast cough relief.
You're helping her study for a geography test. When a burger with steak, butter, and bacon sounds like the best, she's about to find out you can't read a map. Hey, Sonic steak, butter, bacon, cheeseburger.
Sonic.
Stouffer's makes you happy full.
Kids, dinner!
With 2 times the meat and 3 kinds of cheese, you can't be anything but happy full. Stouffer's.
I have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now there's Skyrizi. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to.
Talk to your dermatologist could help you save.
With one of the best savings rates in America, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than this.
Stop. You're in.
Oh, cool. Yep, even easier than that. And with no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, is it even a decision? That's banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Did you know Google makes a phone? Sure, it's beautiful, but it does things other phones can't do, which is how it helps take annoying items out of pictures. Introducing our newest Google Pixel phones. Get Google Pixel 7 for free or up to $800 off Pixel 7 Pro.
Welcome home. I wasn't expecting this.
Optimum Business is here with fast, reliable internet to bring opportunities closer so you can go farther. Get internet, phone, and mobile with flexible plans and internet with built-in cybersecurity for just $69 a month. With Optimum Business, you get transparent pricing with no hidden fees and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Your future's only a connection away with Optimum Business. Plans start at $69 a month. Call or visit Optimum Business today.
Hey, honey. We thought we'd try something new.
Family art hour.
Learn more at adoptuskids.org.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
Currently in our area, 40 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low 27. Winds light and variable. Tuesday, partly cloudy, high 52. Winds light and variable. Tuesday night, mostly cloudy skies, low 34. Winds light and variable. Here's our 7-day outlook.
First thing that morning, I woke up and saw that things were not good.
Flash flood emergency just outside of Nashville. Get inside!
Within seconds, it was basically on top of us.
You see it take down the power lines, and all of that debris comes rushing across the highway.
And I threw my arms up like this, hit the side of the house, and then next you know, I'm under the water.
And I thought, well, this is where I'm going to die.
This is Storm Center, along with meteorologist Jackie Jarris. I'm meteorologist Chris Warren. In the lab, tracking a major winter storm that will have major impacts across several states, affecting millions of people from coast to coast. The next phase, the first phase, was the West Coast, the Intermountain West. Now this is the next phase with blizzard conditions, a possibility. In fact, expected. Blizzard warnings posted here in the darker pink color. Ice storm warning posted in the huge swath of snow, possibly measured in feet when it's all said and done, and possibly some snow drifts in feet as well. Also watching, and we'll be tracking tomorrow on Storm Center and on the Weather Channel, watching for the possibility that severe weather could produce tornadoes. And Jackie, a Torcon of 5 for parts of Louisiana, parts of East Texas, including Shreveport, Bossier City, down to Alexandria, Natchitoches as well, over to Lufkin in eastern Texas, even parts of western Mississippi. Potential, a little bit higher potential for tornadoes.
All right, we want to advance the story and talk about conditions into the Northeast because eventually Winter Storm Diaz will head your way. This is eastern New York from this past weekend, just outside of Albany. So there you can see in this area, it doesn't look like a ton of snow, but it's certainly covering the roadways. But Albany ended up with about 6.5 inches of snowfall. So this was a significant, decent snowfall for a lot of areas that haven't had much so far this year.
Yeah, a little bit of a taste of what may be to come. And depending on where you are in the Northeast, you may have a better chance than others for some big time snow. And isn't that really almost always the case? There's times when it's a slam dunk that everybody's going to get snow, but usually it's that 95 stretch here. And a big reason for that is where it's located next to the water, right? You have the moderating effects, might not have that cold air locked in, but the potential from the European model showing a lot of snow for some.
A lot of snow, and elevation, of course, also rises, right, away from I-95. And so that's a big factor. And you can see the Euro and the GFS both pretty much not bringing much of any along I-95, but got to keep an eye on places like Boston, New York City. Maybe you would get some flakes, but right now it's not looking like there would be much for anything sticking. So we'll have to see the track of this low from the south and how that becomes a player. But right now it does look wet as opposed to white.
And track can make a big difference. So now let's get a closer look at why Interstate 95 is essentially such a winter weather battle zone.
Interstate 95, stretching the entire eastern seaboard from Miami to the tip of Maine. This main artery keeps the East Coast running. Unless we're talking about a winter storm, which can completely derail everything. With these storms, all types of precipitation pound the pavement, turning the interstate into more of a battleground boulevard for winter weather. But what causes this, and why is I-95 in the crosshairs for winter weather?
So the I-95 corridor, in the big picture, is a dividing line between the relatively warm, moist air over the Gulf Stream of the Atlantic Ocean and the colder, drier air coming out of Canada. But you also have not just land-ocean contrast, but mountainous terrain inland from the mid-Atlantic and Northeast, which just tends to focus precipitation along that I-95 corridor. And the difference between the rain and the snow could be dramatic over just a few miles in that I-95 corridor.
It's more than just a nuisance. According to the I-95 Corridor Coalition, the passageway has a $4.7 trillion economy. That's an incredible 40% of the nation's gross domestic product. And when big weather strikes, the bottom line takes a hit.
What happens when you have weather like this, the economy basically just freezes in place. So commerce doesn't happen. People aren't going to the store, they're not spending money, they're not going to restaurants, they're not traveling. It becomes like, for the Northeast, it's sort of a house of cards weekend where everybody is bundled up inside and they're not moving out, and therefore they're not spending money. So it shuts the economy down effectively for an area.
Roughly 72,000 people strap into their cars ready to duel it out on I-95 every single day. But each battle is different when it comes to winter weather.
And you're going to get precipitation. The question is, somewhere near that I-95 corridor, who's going to get rain? Who's going to get snow?
All right, so we're still talking about a couple of days away before this moves into the Northeast, but that gives you an idea of where we're expecting the rain and where we're expecting the snow, of how all of this evolves. This will be sticking around at least through your Friday, and then we'll get some much colder air that's going to wrap around on the back side of this. So we do expect some significant snowfall accumulation, but that will be west of Interstate 95. New York City may get some snowflakes mixing in with the rain, and then changing over to rain.
Hey, Peloton, step into your power. Let's go.
Ah, you didn't come to work out. You came to outwork. Let's get it.
Yo. Boom. 2 + 2 = 4. Come on, you got this. Everyday man's on the block. Beats.
No challenge, no change.
The ting goes. Let's go.
Get $400 off Peloton packages. Terms apply.
Ready to sell your car? Just enter your info on CarMax.com and get a real offer in 2 minutes or less. Yeah, it's that easy. That's car selling reimagined. CarMax.
I recommend Nature Made vitamins because I trust their quality. They were the first to be verified by USP
an independent organization that sets strict quality and purity standards. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand.
Angie's List is now Angie, and it's easier than ever to get your projects done right. With Angie, you can connect with top pros and see ratings and reviews. And when you book and pay through Angie, you're covered by our happiness guarantee. Check out Angie.com today. Angie, and done.
Fair, freckled, or melanated, we are appreciated. Ultra hydrated, glazed, and glowing. Confidence overflowing. New Vaseline lotions, 90% more moisture for my one-of-a-kind skin. And there's no other skin I want to be in.
When you get a chip in your windshield, trust Safelite.
This couple was headed to the farmer's market. When they got a chip, they drove to Safelite for a same-day repair. And with their insurance, it was no cost to them. That's service the way you need it.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
People love Subaru just because it stands for much more than just a car.
Through the Share the Love event, Subaru retailers have supported over 1,700 hometown charities.
Have I witnessed and seen the impact of what we do? You bet I have.
We have worked with so many amazing causes and made a difference.
By the end of this year, Subaru and our retailers will have donated over $250 million to charity.
It's about more than just selling cars. The Subaru Share the Love event, going on now.
You're helping her study for a geography test. When a burger with steak, butter, and bacon sounds like the best, she's about to find out you can't read a map. Hey, Sonic steak, butter, bacon, cheeseburger.
Sonic. This holiday season, give your family the gift that keeps on going.
Her very own Energizer Bunny?
Energizer Ultimate Lithium. The #1 longest lasting AA battery.
Dude, you coming?
Alka-Seltzer Plus Power Max gels with more concentrated power, because the only thing dripping should be your style. Plop Plop is Fizz with Alka-Seltzer Plus. Also tried for fast sinus and pain relief.
Oh, what a good time we will have. You can make it happen.
Voltaren, the joy of movement.
Stover's makes you happy full.
Kids, dinner!
With 2 times the meat and 3 kinds of cheese, you can't be anything but happy full. Stouffer's.
This the biggest bounce of the summer.
Hey, 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 hey. If you come in and come down, play, play. If you feel too shy, then watch for me. Watch for me, watch for me.
Shake it. This the biggest bounce of the summer. If you ain't coming, that's a bummer.
Watch for me.
This the biggest bounce of the summer.
This is Storm Center.
Welcome back to Storm Center, everybody. I'm meteorologist Jackie Jarris, alongside meteorologist Chris Warren, who's going to join us in just a second on the radar. I want to take a look at the big picture right now and our big storm system that we're going to be tracking not just tonight, but the whole rest of the week. So we've got a large upper level system. You can really see the spin associated with that right now, but a surface low is developing, and that's what's going to be ultimately taking over and bringing very strong winds across the upper Midwest, helping to draw in colder air, bringing blizzard conditions, icy conditions, and feet potentially of snow. Now, in the southern tier of all this, we are expecting severe storms. Those could develop as early as tonight, but likely continuing through the day tomorrow. And severe weather is expected from East Texas over towards Mississippi. Torcons as high as a 5, including places like Alexandria and Shreveport. New Orleans, we have a Torcon of a 3. All right, let's get to Chris. He's got the latest of what's developing on the radar right now. And Chris, we've had some thunderstorms, but most of this is going to happen later tonight.
Yes, we are expecting that uptick. We're seeing a little bit of a tick, but not a big uptick just yet in severe weather. But what we are seeing right now, this is a snow squall warning currently in effect. This is in effect for Alamosa, Conejos, and Costilla counties, along with Saguache County, until 6:15. And this is for a quick burst of snow. While it doesn't look like a whole lot, it can reduce visibilities very quickly. It's moving about 30 miles an hour, and it can be dangerous for people that are on the roadways. Here's the snow that's falling in eastern Idaho and northern Nevada, a few scattered showers in Utah right now. And around this low currently, we are seeing just scattered showers, but again, occasionally a burst of showers at times in the form of a snow squall. Seeing thunderstorms developing once again in the panhandle of Texas, increasing a bit here in western Kansas with anywhere in red. This is where we are expecting that uptick in severe weather here in the coming hours. And as we go through the night, Jackie, of course, we are going to see the potential that some of those storms could be a little bit more rambunctious.
Well, storms are potentially going to be severe, not just tonight, but the next several days. In fact, we've got tonight, tomorrow, Wednesday and Thursday with areas highlighted for that severe weather risk. So the dotted lines here showing you the division between which day you may be affected. But tomorrow at this point looks to be the most extreme day with thunderstorms right out of the gate in the morning and then continuing through the day. So tonight, Chris was just showing us where some of those storms are beginning to fire up now. More are expected through the night. Damaging winds are going to be expected with a couple of the storms, but we can't rule out a few tornadoes. So we've got torcons of a 3. Here's a look at the active radar. Those storms are developing generally in that layer of instability, but as that surface low develops a little bit more intently and we get a stronger flow of southerly winds across the region, that's going to create some more buoyancy in the atmosphere and get storms firing up later on. So likely still another couple of hours before we see any widespread convection across the region, but lines and clusters of storms will likely develop and continue through the overnight into early tomorrow morning. So while you're sleeping, you need a way to get alerted so you can get to your safe place and wake you up. And tomorrow, while we'll likely start out with strong, possibly severe storms over here, throughout the day, we'll watch that line work its way off towards the east and then some redevelopment back behind all of that. So there may be several rounds of storms that could be severe, but they're most likely to happen in that area I just circled in that darker red. That would include cities like Alexandria and places like Shreveport. All forms of severe weather will be possible tomorrow. Damaging winds, perhaps some large hail, and also tornadoes. Torcons are higher tomorrow. They're up there at a 5 across that region. So here's that line of rain and thunderstorms at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. By midday, lunchtime or so, this really gets kicking across parts of Arkansas and into Louisiana. Notice our models picking up kind of those little kidney-shaped storms. Those would be supercells most likely. So the models are hinting at the idea that the atmosphere could produce those storms that do produce tornadoes. And then another round, look at this, 8 o'clock at night, working its way into Mississippi. Still another line through Alexandria, perhaps at 11, 12 o'clock, and more storms developing here off towards the west. But these will be the ones more likely to be intense as we head into your Wednesday morning. So a lot of aspects and a lot going on with these severe storms. Now, we're going to have updates every 10 minutes or less right here on Storm Center on this major cross-country storm. Coming up, we're going to be looking at the ice potential also and where we can expect to see power outages.
Since being the first to make wipers over a century ago, Trico has protected drivers in all kinds of weather. Torrential downpours, gale force winds, wintry blasts, even when it's raining cats and dogs. Hey, who came up with that phrase anyway? Just imagine if it actually started. All right. No matter what the conditions, Trico wipers maintain maximum windshield contact. For safe, clear driving visibility, be prepared for whatever Mother Nature throws at you with Trico wiper blades. Available at these retailers.
There's nothing like hitting the waves.
There's nothing like volunteering, but my moderate to severe eczema can make it hard.
Now, I'm staying ahead of it.
Dupixent helps heal your skin from within, so you can have clearer skin and noticeably less itch. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor. Ask your doctor about Dupixent.
Did you know Google makes a phone? Sure, it's beautiful, but it does things other phones can't do, which is how it helps take annoying items out of pictures. Introducing our newest Google Pixel phones. Get Google Pixel 7 for free or up to $800 off Pixel 7 Pro.
It feeds my body.
Kim Crawford, make it amazing.
The refrigerator is Greg's happy place.
My kids eat, but I finally figured it out.
We can get all that we need and then a little bit more at Walmart. Uh-oh. Now this is going to be...
This year, save on gifts that mean more during the big holiday sale. Only at Kay.
This winter, meet the heroes of performance. Available at the Acura Season of Performance.
I recommend Nature Made vitamins because I trust their quality. They were the first to be verified by USP, an independent organization that sets strict quality and purity standards. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand.
The first ever all-electric Chevy Blazer EV. 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. And up to 320 miles of range on a full charge. EVs for everyone, everywhere. Chevrolet.
You're helping her study for a geography test. When a burger with steak, butter, and bacon sounds like the best, she's about to find out you can't read a map. Hey, Sonic steak, butter, bacon, cheeseburger.
Sonic.
You got to frank it up.
Crank it up.
Crank it up.
Yeah.
It's the perfect blend of flavor and heat. I put that on everything.
This is Storm Center, and this is a look at the snow that is expected with the latest winter storm that we're tracking, a coast-to-coast storm that will be slamming here across the upper Midwest, the northern plains, 18 to 24 inches, perhaps 2 to 3 feet. And while this snow is falling over the course of a couple of days, the wind will be howling. Blizzard conditions expected for some of these areas. And this is a look at the snow, but there's also a severe side, and Jackie, also the potential there could be some ice as well.
Yeah, and by ice we mean freezing rain. It comes down as liquid and then ices on contact. And while we're going to have a lot of cold air associated with this storm system, we're also going to have a really large warm sector, and that warm air is going to get lifted up over the top of the cold air and produce some of those icy conditions. In fact, we've already seen a nice glaze of ice in the parking lots in Sioux Falls, South Dakota already here just this evening, and most of that's just been from freezing drizzle. So as the precip picks up overnight tonight and into tomorrow, the rates of that snow and freezing rain are all going to begin to pick up. So on the backside of all of this is where we're going to have the heaviest snowfall that's going to be accumulating, and most of that is going to stay all snow. Go along with those gusty winds. Boy, Panhandle, Nebraska is going to be ugly, very cold, feeling below zero for most of the duration of the next 2 days. Now, we'll watch for a lot of rain to move in across Iowa and into southern parts of Minnesota, but then that cold air is really going to kind of embrace itself across the region, and we could get as much as 3/4 of an inch of that freezing rain or that ice to accumulate on things like your car, on power lines, and on trees, and that can be very damaging. And here's a look kind of giving you an idea of the different impacts based on the amount of freezing rain or ice that accretes. And you get up there between 1/4 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch, and you start to get quite a few power outages. Now, the other thing that we really need to keep in mind out of all this too is that we're going to have really strong winds. I've actually seen video of some arcing power lines out of South Dakota today from just a very, very light amount of freezing rain. So you put a little wind in on that, and those things could really get going, and widespread power outages are going to be possible. So if you live in the areas where the ice storm warnings are in effect, including around Sioux Falls, including right along the Interstate 29 corridor here, you need to be prepared to lose power, and it might be a while before power crews can get out and safely restore that. Here's a look at some of the timing. Notice all that precip. Look at all the rain working into the Twin Cities metro area. Albert Lee, Rochester, over towards Mason City and Sioux City. But while most of us in that region start out with rain, likely going to finish off with some of that snowfall as that colder air aloft works its way in and swings in across the region. This lingers into the upper Midwest for a couple of days, and it's going to stick with us as we head through most of the rest of the week. Now, whether you get ice or snow or sleet, it all depends on some very specific conditions, especially as you go upstairs or high above you. Meteorologist Mark Elliott explains.
In the winter, we talk about several types of precipitation. There's snow, but then there's also sleet and freezing rain. But here's the key. They actually start off as snow as well, and it all happens up there. See, it all starts as snow up here at the top, but the atmosphere has layers. So as our snowflake starts to fall, it could go into an area of warmer temperatures, slightly above freezing. So our snowflake starts to melt from the outside in. You now have a water drop that has a little bit of an ice core in the center, but then it exits our warm area and goes back into the cold. That means our water starts to freeze again, but it doesn't reform a snowflake, it just freezes like it is. A solid raindrop, if you will, comes all the way down to the ground and can bounce. We call that sleet. Freezing rain works a little bit differently. It does begin as a snowflake and it starts to fall through the atmosphere. However, it enters a warm area that is much deeper, so that snowflake melts all the way down. It's now just a regular old raindrop, and it continues all the way down to the surface of the ground. But here at the surface, it's actually below freezing still. So that liquid water hits the ground and freezes right on contact. It turns out that freezing rain is one of the most dangerous types of precipitation, but no winter precip is fun, so be careful out there.
And sometimes the best way to be careful out there is to not go out there and maybe opt for another time to be out there. Look at the difference in temperatures. 50 degrees in North Platte, 19 in Rapid City. As the temperatures fall and the wind picks up and the snow starts to come down, could have a blizzard on our hands. That's what it looks like across a lot of the northern plains here. This is through Wednesday. Now here's Thursday morning. So overnight Wednesday into Thursday morning, snow still falling, wind still howling. This continues in some spots even through most of the day on Friday. Even when the snow stops, the wind keeps on keeping on.
I don't have any updates.
Still haven't closed. Larry, are we still on for 3?
I'm on the phone.
When you and your team need space to work.
I didn't get that attachment.
I'm sending it.
And a place to eat.
Carl, is that mackerel?
No, it's trout. Has anyone seen my mayonnaise? Oh, found it. False alarm.
It matters where you stay.
Fish tacos?
Carl. Oh, yeah.
Hilton for the stay.
Wendy's new Italian Mozz is fried mozzarella, garlic knot bun, marinade. You know what? You're just gonna want to eat it.
Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new Italian mozzarella chicken sandwich.
I'm Jimmy Dean, and that sunrise something. I honestly feel that way about Jimmy Dean sausage. Get yourself a large chunk of that good morning feeling.
Oh, that smells good.
This Friday, be the first to
return to Pandora.
Let's go, come on!
Avatar, The Way of Water. Rated PG-13. Friday.
Fairlife brings more to your holiday traditions. It's ultra-filtered milk with 50% more protein, 50% less sugar, and a creamy taste. This season, turn delicious into delicious. Fairlife ultra-filtered milk.
Get $400 when you pair your Peloton bike, Bike Plus, or Tread with accessories, like cycling shoes, dumbbells, and more. It's Peloton's gift to you. Visit onepeloton.com. Terms apply.
Extra hard studying calls for something extra. So you serve up new DiGiorno fully stuffed crust pizza. Because pizza with an extra layer of cheese stuffed edge to edge throughout the entire crust always hits the spot. It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Dude, you coming?
Because the only thing dripping should be your style. Plop Plop is Fizz with Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold and Flu Relief. Also try for Fizzy Fast Cough Relief.
Did you know Google makes a phone? Sure, it's beautiful, but it does things other phones can't do, which is how it helps take annoying items out of pictures. Introducing our newest Google Pixel phones. Get Google.
Optimum Business is here with fast, reliable internet to bring opportunities closer so you can go farther. Get internet, phone, and mobile with flexible plans and internet with built-in cybersecurity for just $69 a month. With Optimum Business, you get transparent pricing with no hidden fees and a 60-day money-back guarantee. Your future's only a connection away with Optimum Business. Plans start at $69 a month. Call or visit Optimum Business today. Optimum Business is here with fast, reliable internet to bring growth opportunities closer. Get internet with built-in cybersecurity for just $69 a month. Your future is just a connection away with Optimum Business. Call or visit Optimum Business today.
Join Cheddar News for an NYC Revealed Marathon as we explore the hidden side of America's biggest city.
To see New York City from above, there's no comparison.
Tune in all weekend long for an NYC Revealed Marathon, only on Cheddar News.
Your winter storm kit, Flex Seal, because it works.
I'm Mike Corey. I travel the world to carve a path for those who aren't afraid to get a little bit dirty.
That is the craziest thing I have ever done in my life.
Let's go on an uncharted adventure.
Currently in our area, 39 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, low 27. Winds light and variable. Tuesday, partly cloudy, high 52. Winds light and variable. Tuesday night, mostly cloudy skies, low 34. Winds light and variable. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Right now, this is a look at the severe weather threat that we're going to be watching through the nighttime hours here on Storm Center and on the Weather Channel. We'll update you as needed on any developing storms. We are expecting thunderstorms tonight in these areas from Texas, the Red River, all the way up, and a lot of Oklahoma, a lot of Kansas into Nebraska, which, by the way, is going to see a lot of snow in the coming days. But these areas here in red is where it's possible there could be some of these stronger storms, which includes at least the possibility there could be a tornado. While there's not the highest end on the exclusive Torcon here, a 2 and a 3, it's still a number. And of course, Jackie, if there is a number, there is a tornado threat.
Yeah, so when you go to bed, make sure you've got a way or two, preferably, to be alerted while you're sleeping, just in case if you live in those areas. Now, tomorrow, we'll have thunderstorms, some of which will possibly be severe right away in the morning. So this is going to be ongoing through the duration. And as we get through the day tomorrow and that warm, moist air really advects into the region, the front develops and moves eastward, we're going to see severe weather become more likely, especially in the afternoon hours. The dark red area indicating where that is most likely to happen: Alexandria, Shreveport, Lufkin, all cities involved, but still possible, especially in the morning. Dallas, McAllister, Texarkana, and then later Greenville, Jackson, New Orleans, and into Lake Charles. So our area of low pressure is actually going to be much farther to the north, but this is going to be the warm sector. We're going to have those strong winds coming in at the surface from the south and east, pumping in ample moisture and bringing in the warmth. Now, aloft, those winds are going to be turning a bit with height, but they're also going to be increasing in forward speed. So speed shear and shear, directional shear, and that is what could bring a few of the tornadoes. Now, this is going to come in rounds, and torcons will be as high as a 5 tomorrow. So this is the day right now that we foresee as being the most likely to have the most widespread severe weather. There's the morning where we're going to be watching conditions into Texas and into Oklahoma. By the afternoon, even as early as midday, we'll watch for severe weather across Arkansas into Louisiana. Models depicting, see all those little bean shapes there? Those could be supercells that produce tornadoes. And then another round could be possible as we head into the evening hours. This will then push late night and overnight into Mississippi. And look at that, our upper low kind of hangs back, so more development will be possible in some of the same areas on Wednesday. And with so much moisture available, easy access to the Gulf of Mexico, flash flooding will be possible, especially as these storms come in rounds. Chris?
And now on Storm Center, a look at some of the snow that moved into central Massachusetts, creating this wintry scene over the weekend. This in Worcester gets a break now from the wintry weather for at least the next few days. But the winter storm we're tracking across the country will bring the chance for snow back to parts of the Northeast later this week. So that is what we are going to look at now. And with this winter storm, this is what we know about the northeastern United States. A wintry mix expected to develop over central PA, and that's going to happen late Wednesday night into early Thursday. Snow, possibly several inches, could fall over the interior portion of the Northeast. That's going to be Thursday into Friday, and then mainly rain for the 95 corridor on Thursday and Friday. But mainly rain, so there's a little bit of wiggle room here in the wording. So we'll let you know if and or when and how that changes. This is the European forecast model. We'll show you the southernmost extent for this snowfall. Some high totals, 1 foot to 1.5 feet. Again, this is one potential outcome, one model. Now the GFS, well, it also shows quite a bit of snow. May disagree a bit on how much, but what the big question is going to be, how far south? Which one is going to end up being more likely to be the correct solution, or is it somewhere in between? So that's going to be some of the big questions. Feel pretty good about some interior locations getting a lot of snow. It's just going to really depend on what happens along that 95 corridor, and of course that's a huge deal with millions of people living in these areas. Through Saturday, again, as that low moves off into the maritime portion of Canada there, we will see a back edge to this, bring at least some snow. Here's the GFS forecast model, and as you see, this broad area of low pressure out here, this is Friday, and on this track right here, again, this is the solution that brings some snow into Connecticut, possibly down a little bit closer to the water, but still some time to figure it out. So stay with us this week here on Storm Center.
I have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now, there's Skyrizi. Things are getting clearer. I feel free to bear my skin. Yeah, that's on me. Nothing and me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin. That's my new plan. Nothing is every day. Achieve clearer skin with Skyrizi. 3 out of of 4 people achieved 90% clear skin at 4 months. In another study, most people had 90% clear skin, even at 4 years. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, had a vaccine, or plan to.
Now's the time to ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic. Learn how AbbVie could help you save.
This year, save on gifts that mean more during the big holiday sale. Only at Kay.
Can do this.
Luxury that lets you feel infinitely you.
With one of the best savings rates in America, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than this.
Stop. You're in.
Oh, cool. Yep, even easier than that. What's in your wallet?
Consumer Cellular has the best customer service.
They care about the customer.
The best price with the best quality.
The prices, the coverage.
Consumer Cellular provides the exact same premium coverage as the nation's leading carriers. And while prices rise, ours are dropping. Get unlimited talk and text with a flexible data plan starting at $20 a month.
It's like 4 scoops of ice cream for the price of 1.
Switch today and save up to half on your wireless. Add extra lines anytime for just $15 each. Call or go online.
Oh, what a good time we will have. You can make it happen.
Voltaren, the joy of movement.
Get $400 when you pair your Peloton bike, Bike Plus, or Tread with accessories, like cycling shoes, dumbbells, and more. It's Peloton's gift to you. Visit onepeloton.com. Terms apply.
Stover's makes you happy full.
Kids, dinner!
With 2 times the meat and 3 kinds of cheese, you can't be anything but happy full. Stouffer's.
That is definitely him.
Dude, that's Jessica taking a little break with a peppermint frosty.
I gotta ask him. Hello.
Hi.
Mind if I sit? Okay.
When it's Frosty time, choose wisely. Choose Wendy's new Peppermint Frosty.
Fairlife brings more to your holiday traditions. It's ultra-filtered milk with 50% more protein, 50% less sugar, and a creamy taste. This season, turn delicious into delicious. Fairlife ultra-filtered milk.
This is Storm Center. Got some squally weather to tell you about right now. Snow squally weather across parts of Arizona and across parts of Colorado, which is all preceding what is eventually going to be a huge mess, a big swath of snow. This is through Friday night. We're yet to see things really get going, but when they do, it's going to last possibly for a couple of days where you're snowing virtually, maybe not completely nonstop, but maybe with some small breaks for hours and hours and hours, and it's going to add up in some places and in some cases to about 2 to 3 feet of snow while the wind is blowing, so blizzard conditions a possibility. While the snow is falling, while there may be an ongoing blizzard, we're also going to be tracking a severe weather threat. Late night hours tonight, may see a few severe thunderstorms, maybe get a few severe thunderstorm warnings, and then the potential for tornadoes goes along with that. A 2 and a 3 on our exclusive Torcon here at the Weather Channel shows, while not the highest end, which is over here, but there is still a tornado threat tonight. Bigger threat tomorrow as more instability is present, more upper level energy is present, but just getting through this evening, moisture coming up, some of these individual storms in a matter of a few hours likely to get even stronger, maybe even congeal into a semi bit of a line, and then more so during the overnight hours as that area of low pressure starts to take shape, a little bit more obvious front and a line pushing in this direction, while at the same time, again, the northern side of things seconds, there will be the chance that a blizzard will be ongoing. Again, north of